I think that's recording. Okay, this is lesson number 2 for the practicum. Megan and myself. And today's lesson, we're working on writing a resume. So May is looking at getting some work when she moves to New Zealand, or even here, she's looking for some work. So we're going to go through and I'm going to help May work out how to write a resume, apply for the job, etc. Alrighty. Right. So May. Hi. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do you know what a resume is? I mean, have you had a resume before?
Not really.
Not really?
Maybe I had just have some ideas, but not really.
Okay.
Not really familiar or good at it.
Well, a resume is a list of your skills and employment history and all your details, so that when you go for a job interview, you can hand the interviewer your resume and they can read through it, or you can send it to them beforehand, depending on the job and what the advertisement says. But it just gives them something to read that tells them quickly all about you and gives them ideas about what questions they can ask you, what your background is, whether they think you might be suitable for the job, etc. So it's quite a handy thing to have. So why do we need a resume? We need it to give that information, to let the employer know who you are, what you're doing, etc. And it's just an easy way, rather than having to talk to you for 10 minutes to find out all these details. They can read it in 2 minutes, and then they know exactly whether they're interested in you to talk to first about the position. Okay? And so what sort of job are you looking for in the future?
I'm looking at a job in a hotel, like maybe it's related in housekeeping.
Okay. And
Because I'm good in housekeeping.
well, yeah, I know you are. You do an excellent job. Have you worked in a hotel before?
Yes, in my place in Philippines.
Oh, cool. You were in housekeeping? Or?
Yes, I'm in housekeeping.
Okay. And what was your position in housekeeping?
I'm holding.
Were you just one of the housekeepers, or were you you were the organizer or supervisor?
I'm in charge of a group of people.
Oh, cool. Excellent. All right.
Doing the housekeeping.
Okay, so we'll look through the paper and see if we can find something along those lines. If not, then we'll just do an exercise in another job, and then when you do find something in housekeeping, then you'll just change your resume a little bit to match what you find in the advertisement. So before we write a resume, I want you to think about the skills and talents you would bring to that position. So in your head, you know what your experience is, you know what you're good at, you know what you're strong at, and they're the sort of things that you want to put on your resume to give you and your employer or your prospective employer an idea of what you're bringing to the position. Okay? And think about what experience you have in the past, what jobs you've had that might be useful or appropriate to give details of for the position that you're applying for. Okay. All right. So we're going to go through. I took the liberty of getting a paper yesterday, so I pulled out the recruitment section here. So it's from the Straits Times. So it's here in Singapore, and there's 2 pages of jobs that I've done. So I'm going to give these to you and let you have a look and see what you can find in there. Okay. All right, so you have a look there. I just need to have a quick look in here. I just wanted to print something out. Do you mind if I grab the mouse from you? So hopefully you'll find something there that interests you. Here's a marker pen if you like, and you can just put a mark on it. And I'll cut it out and we'll stick it together with your thing eventually so that we remember what it was we were writing about. So have a quick look in there. Anything interesting?
Yes, I found two jobs that I think I am interested in. But they're all in hotel, in housekeeping.
Yes, oh good.
There is one, they are looking for housekeeping supervisor
Yes.
in Orchid Hotel.
Yes.
And there is another one also, experienced housekeeping staff.
Oh, excellent.
And it's also in a hotel near Tiluk Blanga.
Yeah.
So maybe
Okay.
I'll take these two and choose which one is more convenient. And
Yeah. Okay, well we can do the same application for both of them, and you could certainly send an application off to both of those employers.
Okay.
And that spreads your net a little wider to get you a position in that industry,
Okay.
which would be great. All right, I'll just close this down for a minute. All right, well let's cut those ones out. Let me just grab you a pair of scissors and we'll cut those out for you, and then we'll great. Oh, I can't believe you found two that are interesting. It's great.
Yes. And I think I am more interested in this experienced housekeeping stuff because I think it is nearer in my place.
Yes.
But the other one is more like related. They are almost the same, but maybe I have to choose which one is very convenient for me.
Yes. That's great. So one's at the Orchid Hotel, and the other one actually doesn't say, doesn't it? It doesn't say yeah, it says the area, but it doesn't say the hotel, does it? All right, no worries. We'll sort that.
They will they just give the number, and then we just confirm.
Well, let's go through the first one first, and let's discuss what it's asking for there. So I'll take that away from you if you like. It's messy there. Okay. Alrighty. So, what's the first one?
It is in Orchid Hotel.
Yes.
And it is a walk-in interview from Monday to Friday.
Okay.
And they are looking for a housekeeping supervisor.
Okay. And the Orchid Hotel is where?
The Orchid Hotel is in One Trust Link, level 2. Unit number is 02-10 Singapore.
Okay.
It's opposite Tanjung Pagar MRT.
Okay, wonderful. Is that convenient for you?
Yes, it is also because it is just opposite of the MRT.
Okay, great. Okay, and what does the other one say?
The other one, it says only they are looking for an experienced housekeeping staff.
Yes.
Needed for a hotel, but they didn't put the hotel name. They just give the.
They haven't really given you any details.
They just give the. I think I have to call because they just give the hotel number.
Right.
Telephone number for you to call.
Okay. So from what I'm seeing, this one is a supervisor, so it's a higher position, and this one looks like just a housekeeping person. Yeah. So this one's probably the more interesting of the two positions.
Yes.
So that's probably the better one.
Yes, and also it's more clearer because you know that it's the hiring hotel is an Orchid Hotel.
Yeah, that's right. So it's great. So okay, let's work on that. So what we need to do then for you, it says walk-in interview.
Yes.
So that's fine. They don't want you to apply first. They don't want you to, ring them up and make appointments or anything like that because it says it's a walk-in interview. However, it would be great for you to walk in with your resume, with all the information to hand, and then you can hand it to them, and they will be quite impressed by that. I'm sure a lot of other people will just walk in with nothing, but you going in with your resume will be much more impressive, and certainly give you an edge on other people going in there. All right. So next, we're going to go through. I'm going to give you this. This is I got this from the internet, and it's the source is down here, so you can have a look at that site yourself. Okay. But this is about resume writing and how to write a resume. Now what I've done, I've changed it slightly from the way it was on the website. I've set it out like you would set out your resume. So these in bold are the headings that you would use through your resume, but
okay.
underneath there it's got explanations about what each of those sections involves. So do you want to read that out to me? Just and then we'll just, if you come across anything that you don't understand,
Okay.
just let me know. All right?
Resume writing. Name, your full name, address, your current address, and contact details.
Yes.
Phone number, email address, etc.
Yes.
Objective. Many resumes start with an objective, though this section is optional. In the objective section, the writer states his or her goals for employment. If a person is applying to a specific job, omitting the objective may be preferable, but for the resumes that a person intends to post online at a job search sites, the objective can be very helpful to potential employers. In this section, the applicant indicates whether he seeks a full or part-time position, as well as a general description of the position he seeks. For example, someone may write a part-time position working for a large corporation doing data entry and data processing.
Yes. So let's talk about that. So do you understand what the objective is?
Is it
It's really
reason or
yeah. It really says this is my name, address, and all my contact details. My objective is to find a part-time or a full-time position in the hotel industry or in the services industry, and you can say I'm looking for a position of responsibility, or you can give a little description of what you're looking for. Just a general. You're not saying I want this job, but you're saying I'm looking for this sort of position: part-time, full-time, responsible, in hospitality, or in hotel management or hotel housekeeping services, or something like that, right? To give them a little idea of what you're looking for. So they go, oh, okay, well, this woman's looking for a position in what we're offering. This is great, so let's go to the next one, okay?
Okay, skills. This is a good place to list some of your skills that make you a suitable candidate for that position. Example, you might be applying for an office position and you have good typing speeds, so you would list this as one of your skills. Depending on the position, you might like to list such things as good English speaking skills. So good, if you're good in English, is it already a skill?
Of course it is.
So
Anything that you can do that some other people can't do makes it a skill. So for example, your English is quite good. So someone else applying for this same position may have lousy English, but if you have good English skills, it means, for example, for the supervisor position, if any of the hotel guests have a complaint and they want to speak to the supervisor, you are the perfect person to handle that because you have good English speaking skills. Okay?
Strong organizational skills.
So that's the ability to organize people and things really well.
Independently.
Okay?
Ability to work independently. Keep it short but stress the skills you have that seem important to the position being applied for. So it means this is the things that you think that can help the company.
So what skills do you think you might have to have for a housekeeping supervisor position?
I am good in organizing.
Yes, your organizational skills.
I am good in.
What about your people skills? Are you good at working with people?
Yeah, that's one thing I want to say, that I am good to lead.
Okay, so I am a good manager of people. I have proven management skills when with my staff or something like that. Yes.
Okay.
You might say, well, your English skills is definitely something that you should mention. So you would say, I have good English speaking and reading skills. Okay. What else might be a skill you could bring to that?
good in multitasking.
There you are. There's another skill you can bring to it, and you certainly would need that in a supervisory position in a hotel, because hotels are quite frantic and busy places.
Yes.
So you need
Especially
all of those skills.
if you handle people under you.
Yes, yes. So that's all important. So they're the skills that you would list under your skills section. Okay. So what's the next one?
Work experience. The experience section is an important section of the resume. This section is where the writer specifies his or her job experience and accomplishments. Start the section with the title Work Experience, and then list each job in its own subsection. What is subsection?
Okay, so you have a section, and then a subsection is your job is going to be the name of your employer, how long you were there, and what you did in that job. So that's a little pocket, and then you might have 3 of those jobs that you put in there. So each of those is a subsection. So you have your heading and then subsections, all the jobs listed that you have done. Okay. Now you don't have to list everything, by the way. But you would list those things appropriate.
So my here there is work experience, then all the subsections.
Yes, yes.
He or she should start with the job title and company in bold type, as well as the dates he was employed in the position. Under that, the writer should give specific information about what he or she did in that position. Traditionally, the description lists the typical task that a person performed and is written in short phrases rather than complete sentences. What does this mean?
Okay. Rather than writing a whole paragraph, like this paragraph here, rather than writing like this, you would actually put maybe in bullet points. You know what bullet points are? Okay, these are bullet points here. So, actually these are very similar, aren't they? Anyway, in bullet points, rather than putting whole sentences that go on and on and on, you would have prepare and package food, customer services, unload deliveries, and keep it short. So it says here, for example, one might write processed data for consumer complaints. That would be 1 point, okay? And then compiled summaries of program needs. That would be another point. And made improvements to web design and user interface would be another point. So you use a short phrase to illustrate what you did in that position, okay?
Okay. Each job listing should have a similarly written description. Of utmost importance is writing the descriptions in parallel structure.
Parallel structure. Now that's a little grammar subject that I'm going to run through with you. Now parallel structure, simply put, is writing the sentence so that it's easy to read, so that the verbs are all in the same format, or the nouns are all in the same format, and I'll explain it to you. We'll have a little bit after a coffee break about how to use parallel structure. Okay?
One important note for the experience section is that you should not feel you need to list every place of employment on your resume. When applying for a specific position, you only need to list those positions that are relevant to the desired job.
Okay, you understand that?
So it means if you just have to put all that, you just have to put the experience in your resume that is related to the job that you're applying.
Yeah, that might. Okay, for example, if you were a swimming instructor at some stage, it's not really applicable to a job as a housekeeping supervisor,
yes.
right? So you wouldn't bother putting that in. But if you had jobs as, you know, in hospitality, or even what you're doing at the moment, that is quite relevant to the position that you're applying for, or perhaps you might have had a job as a staff manager in a restaurant or something like that, which is, again, that shows the management skills that you need to run a team of people.
So they are like related.
Yeah, things that show skills that you need for this job. So if you've had 50 jobs, no one wants to see your resume go over pages and pages. Yeah. Okay.
In many countries, job applicants submit a CV, which is different from a resume. A CV does list all positions and accomplishments, but has a tendency to be several pages. A resume, on the other hand, should be no more than 1 or 2 pages.
Yes.
So space limitation determine which positions are most important to include.
Yes. Okay, so a CV might be for someone who has degrees and is going for a high management position, or a much more involved position where they need to list just about everything they've done in order to get that position. But the position that you're going for, or would like, you know, the type of position you're going for, means that they want to see that you have the skills and experience in that particular field. They don't really care if you have a degree because your housekeeping supervisor doesn't require a degree, so it's irrelevant to them. You still will list your education, but those sort of things are irrelevant to the position. Okay.
Okay. Employers do not want to take time to read an entire CV unless it is entirely necessary. So to the point, resume is more effective in this case.
That's right.
So this is what you mean.
Yeah. So this is, and I've got a couple of examples here for you, and we'll run through those in a minute. But what they're saying is an entire CV might be 4, 5, 6 pages long, lists everything you've done, etc. The person who's hiring for this position doesn't want to have to read that. They want to see a page like this that shows what you've got that you can bring to the job, and they go, yeah, this is great, look at this woman, she's fantastic. Okay, cool. Let's give her a shot and let's see how she goes.
Education. The education section of a resume has some stylistic similarities to the experience section. All post-high school education should be listed with a writing format similar to the previous section. For each entry, your student should list a school attended, the year graduated and degree earned,
or certificate, or whatever you happen to get from that course. So you finished high school, so you would probably enter your high school where you finished high school, and then I think you said you went to college. Yeah, so you would put that down as well. Even if you didn't finish it, and I think you said you didn't finish it, you would still put down how many years of that you did, because it shows a certain amount of application. And if you've done any other short courses of any sort,
short courses.
Yeah.
Not really.
No?
Yeah.
I mean, even, you know what, for this particular position, even something like a life-saving certificate, you know how you go along and you do CPR?
What do you mean by short courses? Like, what is the example of short courses?
Well, that, you know, a life-saving course where you learn to do CPR.
Yeah. We have that in school.
See, that is really handy for working in a hotel, because, you know, if someone falls over, has an accident, you're there, you've got the skills necessary to do CPR on them or to do first aid on them, first aid course, you know. So that is actually quite handy in a hotel job. So any course that you think might be handy, I don't know.
Even if you are still in school?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. I mean, a recent one would be better, but you could still list it. You might have done, for example, a barista course in the last 2 years. Now, this is a hotel, and of course, whilst you're in housekeeping, a barista course is still applicable to the industry.
Yes, it's still related to
Yes, that's right. So it's worth listing that if you've done it. You know, so anything that you think is appropriate to the type of industry that you're going to work in. You might have done a management course, or you might have done, I don't know, I can't even think of what's available at the moment. But you know, any short courses, maybe even also a 2-day course or a 1-day course.
Maybe a supervisory course when you take the job.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Also, those are the short courses. You can call it the short courses.
Yeah. They're just little skills. You know? They're like the skills section, but they're different. They're educational skills rather than actual personal skills that you have.
So you can consider that as a skill.
Well, it is a skill, but it's an educational skill. So you
put
it under education.
For under courses, for the short courses, you can still do that as a skill.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, and then the next section.
References.
Yeah.
Most people choose to write references available upon request and have 2 or 3 people line up to give a reference if necessary.
Okay, so quite frankly, you don't actually have to write that if you don't want to. If you've run out of space, if you've filled your whole page and you don't have to put that at the bottom, then don't put it. Because they will assume, the interviewer or the employer will assume that you have references that you can provide, because they will ask you for them. So you can put it, if you've not filled the page and you've got space here, put it at the bottom and say, yes, I've got references for you if you want them.
But it is better to put the references when you submit a resume.
No, don't put the references in. Just leave it as a statement that says references are available if you want, like upon request, or just leave it blank entirely. But they will ask you in an interview if you have any references. And at that stage, when you go to the interview, you should have 2 or 3 people written down that you can give to them and say, yes, these are my references.
Okay, so they will definitely ask you for references.
More than likely they will ask you for references. Now, of course, before you go to an interview, you should ask those references if you can use them as a reference.
So it's better to be ready to have those references.
Absolutely. So you line up 2 or 3 people and say, would you please give me a reference? I'm going for a job. Would you please give me a reference if they ask?
So you can. Is it more better to ask your former?
It could be a former employer. It can be a person who's known you all your life, who's in a reasonable
so it's not
position.
It
doesn't have to be an employer. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, you might know. I don't know. You might know someone who's the bank, your doctor even. You know, your bank manager, your doctor, your someone who's a reasonable position in society. And
so what are the reasons for the reference for the people?
Just your character. They're going to
so
say
they will,
you're a good person, you're hardworking and honest, and you would be definitely suitable for this position. I recently gave a reference for a young girl I was working with. She was the office manager and I was the trade salesperson for the company. And she went for another job. Now, I hadn't worked with her for the last year and a half, but she rang me up and she said, can you give me a reference? And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. So she gave my details over, and I got a call a couple of days later from this guy.
The prospect.
And they called me, and I just told him what I knew about the girl and what my experience was of her in the office, and that I thought she was a hard worker. She was always on time. She was very pleasant to work with, and then she got the job. So, you know, it's just a reference. Now, the person you give as a reference doesn't have to be an important person. It can be just someone who's known you a long time, or who has worked with you. It doesn't have to be your boss. It can be someone who worked beside you, you know. So, just someone who knows you. All right? So that's basically it. So let's have a look at the resume examples here. I pulled 2 out. I thought I had more than that. I've got 1. Let's have a look at that one. So again, so this is a resume for Kim Lee. Now Kim Lee is in somewhere or other, but Kim Lee, let's have a look. Do you want to read me Kim Lee's, I don't even know if Kim Lee is a girl or a boy. It sounds quite strange, doesn't it? I don't, anyway, the skills. So what skills does Kim Lee have?
Excellent in communication skills. Ability to work cooperatively with others.
Yes.
Efficient time management and organizational skills.
Yes. Familiarity
with small business operation in the hospitality travel industries.
Yes.
Competent with computers and the ability to use MS Word, Excel, and Access.
That's right. So they're the skills that young Kim Lee feels that he or she has. We'll call her she for the moment. So, do any of those skills sound like things that you have?
Excellent communication skills.
Very good.
Ability to work cooperatively with others.
Yes.
Efficient time management and organizational skills.
Yes.
Familiarity with small business operation in the hospitality.
Yes.
And the travel industries.
Yeah.
In computers, I can, use computers,
what can you do?
but
what can you do
I'm not really familiar with Word, Excel, and Access.
What can you do? What can you do on a computer?
Computer, just...
You can do emailing?
Yes.
Okay.
I can do email.
Can you type?
Yes.
Fairly fast or not?
Okay.
Okay, all right. So you have some
skills.
There you could put some computing skills.
Okay. So you can consider that as a skill?
Yes, of course. Yeah. Anything you can do is a skill. Okay.
Okay.
So, and another skill would be excellent English.
Okay.
Yeah, speaking English is a skill. What else might be a skill of yours? Ability to manage others.
Yeah, we have this already.
No, she says work cooperatively. So that's working cooperatively, like all cooperating together.
I am sure
so you are good at managing people,
people.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And another skill that you have is that you are prompt. You are always arrive on time. So
Yes,
you are very
that
punctual.
punctual.
So, you know,
On
that's
time.
actually a good skill. Oh, that's fine. That's something nice about
Until
you.
now, I didn't know that those are considered as
Yeah, okay. So, all right, let's go down to the next one. So, we've got
work history.
work history. So, under work history, what do you notice about the dates?
It's just a year.
It's the most recent one first.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so it's the most
current.
recent.
They call it current.
Yes. Okay, so what has she done? She's done.
Work history, 1999. It is
Yeah.
a current job.
Yeah, the current job. So from 1999 to now, she has worked at Burger World.
Swanborn.
Okay, so that means this is her current position. And underneath Burger World, which is her employer, what's the next one? It's her position.
Customer service.
Yeah. And then she lists 3 things underneath that she does in that job.
Prepare and package food, customer service, unload deliveries.
Right, okay. Could be a he. Could be, I don't know. Anyway, she's still a she. Now the next one underneath is interesting. In 2000, she actually did something else. Now that was while she was working for the other hotel. So maybe it was a work experience placement. So, okay, so she went off in 2000 and did a short stint in this acquired hotel and then came back to Burger World.
Oh,
okay. So what did she do there?
She is a customer service, housekeeping, front desk, and marketing.
Right. So
that's
all the things. Yeah. So she did all those things in that position. Now, what about the next one? So that was before she worked at Burger World.
Burger World is in 1998.
And who did she work for?
She works in Star Travel.
Yeah.
Cannington.
Yes.
As a receptionist.
Yes.
Customer contact.
Yep.
Photocopy and prepare travel documents and preparation of correspondence.
Right.
So it means she also had an experience because she works also in a travel. I think it's a travel agency. Travel agency.
So she's got a little bit of diverse experience there. So it's quite interesting to see what people have done in the past. You can go online and look at more of them if you want to. It's just it's keep reading. Let's go on to the next one. So the next one before that is interesting too.
1995 to 2000, Mrs. R. Smith, laureate, babysitter.
Yes, so
she's holding a lot of jobs.
Yes, so I actually don't think she necessarily had to mention that one from 1995 to 2000. It's a nice little job.
Yeah, but it's not really
appropriate to.
Yes, and it's not related to the job.
No. So I think that was probably a little unnecessary, but that's okay. People do put all sorts of things on things. All right, so what's the next section?
Education. From 1996 to 2000, Fairmark Senior High School, Secondary Education Certificate.
All right.
Vocational English.
So this is a subject she did.
So these are the subjects.
Yes.
In the secondary education, in the senior high school.
Yes.
Vocational English, mathematics in practice, work studies, computer fundamentals, food production, aspect of the tourism industry.
Right. So she hasn't done anything since high school. She hasn't done any further courses. That was her one bit of education, was 4 years of high school. She's 1996 to 2000. And that was a senior high school. So these are the subjects she studied at senior high school. So she hasn't gone on later on to do any other further degrees or certificates of any sort. Okay, so she hasn't done a lot after school. So let me see if I can pull up another example here for you on the screen. Why has this closed? Okay, what's this? For some reason it's closed down all of my bookmarks. I don't know why. Never mind. We will make it big and we will Google resume examples. Right, here we are. Let's have a look. Here might be one here. Why did I do all these advertising things are so annoying.
Yeah, they're always.
All right, here's one. Julia Doherty. And she's got up the top here, and you can see she's done it in a different format, okay? She's got it looking much prettier. She's got her address underneath and her contact details and an email address. And then she's got a professional summary. Now this is our objective section, you know, what we call the objective. See, you can do it in all different ways. So she's called it professional summary, we're calling it the objective, and she's got responsible elementary school teacher with excellent communication skills demonstrated by 9 years of teaching experience. So she's actually put her professional summary there. So she's telling you all about herself in about 3 sentences, okay? Passion for education, especially science education for girls. Motivated, enthusiastic educator with a strong desire to foster a cohesive student learning atmosphere. Specialise in managing students effectively and maximising learning opportunities in diverse classroom settings, okay? And then she goes on to list her qualifications. So they would be her skills by the look of it. So she's called qualifications, but they're more skills. She's got teaching, tutoring and counselling. She's got, I'll skip that one. She's effectively worked with parents, motivating students, interactive teaching and learning, innovative lesson planning, classroom management, learning style assessment, performance assessments, creative lesson plan development. So they're all the skills that she brings to the job, okay? And then she's got her experience. She's got it slightly differently to Lee here. She's got here over here what her position was, where she was working, the dates, and then she's got, again, about 5 things underneath of all the sorts of things she did. And she's got here, for example, develop interesting course plans to meet academic, intellectual and social needs of students. And then the next one, establish and enforce rules for behaviour and procedures for maintaining order among a diverse class of students. So she's listed the things that she did in that position. And then she's got the previous position and the things that she did there as well. And then down the bottom, she's got education, and she's got her Masters of Science in Education and her Bachelor of Science in Education. And she lists where she got that and what, as she said here, concentration in science, right? And then underneath that, she's got certifications, and she's got New Jersey State Certified Teacher, current, and then she's got her affiliations because she's a professional. They often will list their affiliations in any club.
What's affiliation?
It's like a club, an organisation that she belongs to because she's a teacher. So she belongs to the American Federation of Teachers, right? So when you're a professional, often you will belong to a professional group, and that is a good thing to put on your resume. So that's that one. Let's see if we can find something. Resume examples. Then put here hospitality. So you can Google and have a look at what other people put in, and you might find some really interesting things, okay? Resumes. Here we are, there's one hotel and hospitality. Here we are. Jesus. We've got Jesus here. Or Jesus.
Jesus.
That's not working. I don't know why that's not working. Let's try again. It's not working again. So. Why is it? Oh, here we are. Can we have a look at that? No. Why won't it let us look? Yeah. Oh, hang on. I'm still searching here. Come on. He's very slow. Oh, yeah. We might have to give up on this one. Alright, okay. Let's have a look. Here we are. Here's one. Jane Doe and her address. Right up the top, so she's got her name in bold, and then she's got her address, her contact details. Then she's got objective, just like we're going to put. So she's got enthusiastic, ambitious and highly organised hospitality professional looking to use industry knowledge and experience in management positions. So it's just a sentence that says, this is what I want, this is who I am, this is what I want, right? Now she's got it slightly differently. She's put her education next, and she's put TAFE, New South Wales, Certificate 4 in Hospitality from Sydney, New South Wales. She's enrolled there, so she's still doing that one, okay? And this one, she's got another TAFE course, Certificate 3 in hospitality, which is one obviously before Certificate 4, and she completed that in Sydney again, and she graduated in November 2007. All right. Then she goes on to her employment history. So she's got to present, so you can use the word present, or you can use current, or whatever. So she's got Smithville Bites Cafe, and it's in Smithville. Her responsibilities: roster staff, train and supervise team, assist general manager with ordering stock, blah blah. Work with cash register and cash up, serve customers, ensure cleanliness of the cafe and quality of customer service. And she has listed here the skills that she demonstrates in this job: a strong focus on customer service, people management and communication skills, that's one you could use, see? And then responsible handling of cash. And then she's got the next job, she's a waitress at Smithville Bites, her responsibilities and then her skills. So she's actually put the skills underneath each job, whereas we're putting the skills further up on our resume, okay? And then another one underneath, and then you go down here and she's actually listed her references, which is very old-fashioned. This is no longer necessary. The modern way is to not put the references on.
Okay.
Just say, yes, I've got references, you may certainly have them if you like. And I might just download this PDF version. Oh no, I won't, because they want me to sign it. I hate these sites, they will ask me to sign it. But that's a good one as an example too. So you get the idea?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Alrighty. So I think we might stop for a coffee. What do you think?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We've been going a while
Good.
now. So let's stop for a coffee, and then when we come back, I'm going to get you, let me have a look here, I'm going to go through parallel phrases, because it's on our sheet here, it suggests we use parallel phrases. What are they called? Parallel structure. I'm going to go through parallel structure with you and just explain that and make sure that you understand it, and then we're going to sit and actually write out your resume.
Okay.
All right? So we'll stop now for a break. I'll just pop that down.